You know, many people are always prepared or seem to be prepared for everything. I remember when Y2K was coming around the corner, there were certain people who were always unprepared and somehow they were ready. They were ready for everything. About that time, in that year 2000, right before then, I was preaching about, well, are you ready to meet the Lord? They were ready for power outages. They were ready for tsunamis and hurricanes and whatever else the press was telling us potentially was coming. But they really were not ready spiritually. You know, in the gospel this weekend, they talk about the first watch, the second watch, the third watch. And they say, if you're not ready even in the third watch, even if you're ready in the first watch, your life will be demanded of you. It's interesting to note that sometimes as we go through life, we're prepared for certain things, but we're not prepared for those things that come in the third watch of our night. Meaning, there are times when we're prepared when we go through struggles in life, and we seem to be prepared. We see them coming, we prepare our hearts, we overcome them. But what do you do when you're tired in the second and third watch of your life and you're really not ready? What do you do when that temptation comes at you? How do you handle it? Are you ready? Are you ready for that temptation with your old drinking buddies or your friend or that coworker that maybe you find attractive? Are you ready to avoid that relationship, that communication, that eye contact that you know can lead you into a time of sin? The gospel today, it says you need to be ready in the third watch. The third watch is just when the sun is rising. The third watch is just when there's enough clarity. But I challenge you to ask yourself, are you ready? Even when the Lord is invisible in the second watch, in the darkness, in the mystery. It's interesting to watch sometimes at Mass to see how do people prepare for the Holy Liturgy. Sometimes they're not even ready for the encounter with the Eucharistic presence of the Lord. Yes, they come forward. Yes, they say amen. But they seem to go out unaffected. They barely are opening their hearts to an encounter with the living God. This week I want to ask you, where do you encounter the Lord? Where did you encounter Him? Are you open to finding the Lord in your day today? Not just when you're maybe at daily Mass, but are you open to the Lord in your prayer in the car? Are you open to the Lord while you're praying in the morning before your kids get up? Do you see an email from a friend as potentially an encounter with the Lord? Do you see these things that happen in quote-unquote the third watch, the times maybe you least expected, that yes, the Lord could even be speaking to you? I pray, my friends, that you say yes to those encounters. Because in the gospel, Jesus says, if you are not ready, you will miss my presence. You will miss my moment. And the gospel also says something very interesting. He says, where your heart is, there is your treasure. And so I ask you to examine your hearts. Are there things in your heart that you know should not be there? Friendships, affections, self-absorption, unforgiveness. Then maybe you recognize, Lord, this has no place in my heart. Pray for the grace to ask the Lord to root them out. You will have freedom, and the Lord in His mercy will grant you His peace. Remember, it's more than a sermon, it's more than a thought. This is the reality of Jesus Christ. God bless you.